Oi, oi!
Good morning.
Oh, we got a lot of people in here early today. Good morning, Shells. Morning, Jay. Morning, Tommy.
Eager
Morning,
Beavers.
Xander, Matt. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? How's life? Oh, actually, I've got a big announcement. I haven't. I forgot I could talk about this. Actually, we'll save it though. How we doing? How's our week been? How's things?
For me, it's been super interesting because my brother was on holiday for the last 8 days,
Oh, are you
and,
back on your listing duties?
and I have adopted the Benji method for 8 days,
Oh,
which is
really?
no fresh listings whatsoever.
We could have
Just
stopped talking about this because everyone's going to think
I
it's
know,
a
I know, I know. But I have just been selling similar for 8 days solid now, and I don't feel like I've seen much of a drop off in sales. I've seen a drop off in average seller price and value more than anything, and that is based on the fact that I've kind of adopted a similar sort of strategy to you when you were doing it. Obviously, you've been doing it for longer than me, but I was like, oh, let me go to my oldest listings, and before I was dropping it by like 10%, and it's never enough to move the needle a lot of the time, right? So I was like, this time I was like, do you know what? If I don't like the look of it, and I know it's an old item, we're 50% off in every as we move. And we've sold a lot of stuff between the values of £10 and £25 over the last.
One might say if it's got bad vibes, it needs to go.
Bad vibes is definitely what it had. But yeah, so I've actually done a bit of a clear out model, but I got really lazy because I used to end and sell similar every day for everything that was ending that day. So you know when it used to say you've got 15 items ending today, I would go in, I would manually end them all, rejig what I needed to, adjust prices if needed to, and then relist. And then it got to the point where I was so close to the 3 month that I was doing it at 2 months and 2 days. And I was like, I've not given this bloody item a chance to do anything before I've even moved, right? So
On the trigger finger, just ready to take it out as soon as it comes in line. Like,
I was doing it up to, so there was a point when I was ending and selling similar after 30 days. Which like 31 days, like as it was ending its first cycle.
I was doing, I basically run all the way backwards, right? So like I've gone from like my last month and I'm at my most recent now that hasn't even hit. Well, I think I don't know if I've gone through everything once. I'm actually not sure, but I'm pretty close to it. And yeah, I now I'm just letting it run because it doesn't feel like it's been up there that long. But I'm pretty sure I've already gone through one cycle of everything. So I'm now I then started going back again to the oldest SKU and doing it stuff every month because it was like as soon as it's been up another month, then it probably needs to be discounted again. But I mean, this is what the title of the thing was about, right? Yeah. So now that I am no longer context. I've been selling similar only for like maybe 4 months. I actually have no idea. It's when did I go away? August.
No, you came back August the 2nd-ish, and
whilst I was away as well. So July.
Whilst you were away in July, you weren't doing any new listings, from what I can remember.
So coming to the end of October. So pretty much 4 months, right? And it's started really, really hot. Like it was like you probably experienced it for 8 days. It's fine. Again, it if you did it in tandem with listing properly, your store would just be way better. So as a strategy to actually get rid of your stuff or actually make more sales and bring more money in, then it's something you really want to adopt regardless of who you are. But you should be keeping your sales going as well. Unless for whatever reason you can't or what.
I've realized over this week, I've forgotten how effective it is, especially considering. So, for context, obviously, I've got 2 storage units at the moment, right? Containers. One of them was full, and then we did a consolidation, filled that one up, and then we went into unit 2. And then from when we did that, we hadn't consolidated once, right? But we consolidated the other last week. And we still have now, like the boxes that you put them in, we get 3 per shelf, and we've got 9 shelves. So 9 times 3, 3 nines, what, 20? We've got 27 boxes currently that are just empty in unit 1. So we haven't, when it comes to clothing, we haven't even touched unit 2 again because we haven't been so we were like, right, let's get rid of all the older stuff now. So like we have got like we're up to 7,000, but our oldest is like 2,200. So while my brother was away for these 8 days, I said to the missus, like, we're not going to list anything new. We're just going to go hard on clearing out all the old stuff. And there's been a few issues with postage services and all this sort of jazz. So when it's come to, because we predominantly source on Vinted, of course, we've been waiting so long for so much stuff to turn up that we the last 4 or 5 days maybe I was sending my brother like 16 items, 14 items, 12 items, because we just didn't have anything here available and we weren't set up to get everything done as quickly as we could. And now we all know we've got backlogs, but like my backlog is like 90% trainers, so you have to clean them, dry them, all that sort of stuff. It just takes time and time and time. So when he was away, the first 2 days I did lots of trainer cleaning to get like lots of stuff dry, and then we've basically been going hard on the sourcing for the last 7 days to put us in a better stead now. So I've already got, I want to say 4 days at 20 a day photographed, ready to go. And both rails are full. That's another 2 days. And there's half in every parcel bags that are like a meter high.
Yeah, the rectangular ones.
Yeah, one of those is half full as well. So we've probably got another 3 days at 20 a day, and we're getting stuff delivered every day as well. So we've really pushed on, and I've still got trainers to clean. But because I've got so many pictures ready, after today we've got a marketing meeting or whatever after this for the group. But after that, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm just going to clean some trainers. And
so you need to get these trainers sorted.
Pardon?
You need to get these trainers sorted, because there's no point bringing them into the business if you're not going to sort them, right? Like
it's always been a backup, right? Like the trainers have never been predominant; they've always been a backup, and I've treated them such. However, the issue I said to you the other day is that because they're a backup and they're not clean, I can't use them as a backup.
Because they're not ready to go. Like they're not ready to go. I don't think they should be a backup. If it's something you're doing consistently, having just a consistently growing backup of like wasted money that isn't being implemented is just stupid. In my like either have a set backup or like that you're happy with, or get them fucking involved. Get them involved.
The play here is to get. I've probably got about another 120 pairs of shoes to clean, right? The actual play is to get all of them clean, all of them ready to go, bagged up, and just chill. And then I can not use them as a backup, but integrate like 5 a day into the store whilst doing the clothes. Then that way I'm getting through the trainers and I'm not taking as much away from the clothing. So therefore it's just a consistent supply, and the clothing backlogs as well.
So this is why I actually was doing shoes and clothes at one point, and I stopped doing shoes because I realized I never got to them. Even if mine was even more so because my setup, I had to change out my setup to do shoes. So I had to and I would always pick doing the clothes that were like ready to go in the setup over doing the shoes. So I just was like, what's the point of this? Because I just had a shelf full of shoes that I never, even now, I was looking at, I forgot they were there. I have a shelf full of shoes that I've never got to. I actually love to go pool now. I don't know what I'm going to go, hold on. Entertain the people whilst I'm gone.
So one of the reasons I hate shoes the most at the moment is based on cleaning. Cleaning is the worst. And because I get a lot of my shoes from the rag place, they come in any varied condition. So that's what makes it super difficult. Now, when it comes to the picturing process that Benji was talking about, I've got my board that comes down at a 45-degree angle. But if I pull the pipe out from behind it so it goes flat, I've got a cupboard to the right-hand side, which is just perfect. It is literally like it's probably a 1 meter by 1 meter like cupboard. It's like an Aryan cupboard style thing. And I have got a shelf set up with there. I've got one of my newer lights bolted to the up above of the door, pointing down. So my photography setup for the shoes is perfect, and it doesn't take any extra time. I've just got to flatten the board against the wall and then pull it back out and put the pipe behind it again to put it back into clothing mode. So my process of taking the photos when it comes to trainers is actually a breeze. It's so easy. It's not anything different. I haven't got to set anything up. I've just got to flatten the board against the wall versus the 45 and then open the door and I'm good to go.
Hi. I'm back. We're just going to have a little haul of the shoes I've got. So I've got some, nice 95s, my all black ones, triple black. We got 97s, 95s, well, 10. But
it's one of the two. Yeah, I think they're 95s. 97. Yeah. I've got a thinner layer, I believe.
my rule for picking them up when I was picking them up is they need to be ready to go. One, because I knew I wouldn't clean them
Are
already.
you just going to sell these to me then?
Maybe, who knows? And then I got some Oliver Sweeney's, which are quite nice.
Almond toes.
I got
the 97 stand. I think I've got like a thinner like fabric layer, right? They're not as chunky.
Yeah. I got a nice some Lokes.
They're nice, yeah.
I got some Loke boat shoes, which are actually quite cool.
Oh, the boat shoes, yeah. The deck. Do you put boat or deck shoes for those?
I put both. I put both.
Yeah, I think I put both.
Mate, look at these bad boys.
Oi, they are nice. What brand are they?
They're Churches.
Oi, mate, why are you not selling these to me? Come on. Get a box ready. I'll purchase all of these off you, sir.
I got some Hokers.
Oh, what size are they?
What?
What size are they?
Oh, they are. 10.5.
I might squeeze into them. All right.
That's nice.
By the way, just so you know, you haven't got a choice of selling these to me, okay?
But yeah, I got a few more as well.
Hey, there's good shoes in there, bro.
I know they've been sitting there for like a year, maybe more.
Well,
just haven't got them.
There's also you not already told me this so that I could have bought them off you already.
I forgot they were there till literally this weekend. I forgot.
These off you.
Literally, I found them. I was like, oh yeah, I've got these because I was showing. Oh, I know what I was doing. Big news. I haven't even got to. We've gone so far away from where we were at the first one. Big news. Biggest news on this channel so far to date. Sweaty Betty is gone.
I didn't even know this. What the fuck?
Sweaty Betty is gone.
Holy shitballs!
I've been rescued. It's gone. It's moved on. It's all.
Wow.
It all got taken on Friday. It's packed up. Well, it wasn't packed up. It was that someone came and collected it. And I asked the person if I could talk about who it was. Do you know who? It was a reseller in the community. From this podcast last week, because I was talking about it.
What? And I said I would go in and prove you wrong by buying it all, and they were like, "What a great idea!"
Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically.
My van wasn't buggered. I could have been there that day and picked them up.
Do you want to throw a guess out?
Right. So I've got it.
Yes.
Cash flow's got to be there, so they've got to have. I'm assuming about $4,500 roughly.
No, it's way less than that.
Oh, it ended up being less than that. Oh, yeah, James.
I had it up.
James makes sense. No.
No, it wasn't James.
Luke.
No. No one I'd even spoken to before, actually.
Oh, really? I was going to say they're the two that have probably got the money to.
I mean, James. Yeah, James is like next door, so it'd be really easy with him. But
yeah, I was thinking the location and trying to work out who it was.
It was Talia. Oh, she's in here. Obviously, she
really?
So Talia came from her island that she lives on and came. That's the reason I just remembered, because I was showing her the back there. And I was like, oh yeah, I got shoes down there. So yeah. Talia came. She messaged me on literally, I don't remember what day actually. I think Wednesday. I think she messaged me Wednesday, and she asked me if I was interested. She only wanted the jumpers originally. And then she was like, oh, I don't know. And then I was like, I mean, I was more than happy for her to take the jumpers, because I think separating it to those two lots is fine. Like, I wanted someone to take it all if they're going to take it. But if you take just the jumpers and leave me with all the leggings, then that's, a good lot to sell by itself as well. And it also allows people with lower cash flow to be able to enter the deal easier, because there's less, it's less of a price. But yeah, we then had a chat back and forth about it, and then she was like, "Oh, you know what? I'll take it all." And I was like, "Fantastic news!" And she came up Friday morning, packed it all into her car, got paid, had a little chat about reselling, and then she went back. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if she is listening, but I was stalking her Vinted to see if she was going to upload it, and she has been. I don't know how it's been doing. I look forward to. I told her to keep me updated, because I'm. Yeah. Wherever it's done, because I'm really interested as to how well it sells.
It sells so well.
I know. I'm super interested. I'm super interested how much money she actually makes from it, and like what margin she ends up getting, especially on Vinted. It's going to be straight profit. So I'm super interested, and I want her to sell it. Like I really want her to sell it, and I want it to go well, so I can see what the actual.
What could it be?
return is, what the actual successful someone doing it successfully looks like. Because there was loads of money to be made there. It's just someone needed to do it. But the good news on that though is, so that's not out the way, and that means my room at the back is free.
Is this the update for the washer and dryer? Is this what's happening next?
This means I can clear out that room and we can get a washer and dryer sorted, which means all our processes finally come together and life is fantastic, basically speaking. So yeah, that's big news. It's exciting, and it's a great time. I'm happy. I was, again, because it's awkward because I was obviously last week I was like, oh, I think I'm going to try and sell it again whilst I wait. And then she came out of nowhere and was like, "Do you want it?" I was like, "You know what? Oh, yeah, just get it gone." And she came and it was all on the floor over here in bags, and she was like, "How? Like it takes up so much space. Like it was taking up like 40% of the room." And she was like, "Oh, this must have taken a lot of space." I was like, "Yeah, this is why I want it gone, because it's just a lot. It's just a lot." And yeah, we're good. We're good to go. Also, yeah, no returns. If you can't open a return on that tire, just in case you are listening.
I've got a question for you then regarding this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me 3 things that you've learned from this saga, I'll call it, when it comes to the sweaty betty? Because realistically, it was probably over a year ago now, right, that you bought it initially.
Yeah.
So what are 3 things that you've taken away from it?
So really, that's actually a really good question. So just on the sweaty betty front, I feel like I understand a bit more on eBay. Anyway, I understand a bit more of what people are wanting to buy, / willing to buy, because I looked it all up at the time, and I also had like an inkling of what I thought would do well and what wouldn't.
Because I know when I spoke to you, you said, "Oh, I went for the black and that because you didn't think the color." And in my head, it was the colorful stuff that sold. So it was an interesting that we had like different views on which was going to sell.
Yeah. So what I don't, what people like from Sweaty Betty, I feel like it's quite specific, but I don't think that was the main problem though. But like, for example, some of the stuff where I bought bigger sizes, but it was cropped, for example, I don't think those two go together very well. And that's something I definitely took away. But I think the main thing is with deals like that, I don't think I should be trying to extract as much money as possible. I think I should be trying to get it turned over fast, especially when it's takes up space. So that's a big thing. I think like being realistic, or even going to the low end of pricing, just to again get that to, because again, like I said, I probably could have doubled up if I would have gone that way from the start relatively quickly. Obviously, the other side of things is selling on Vinted, right? Like I did see with a few things that I cross-listed that went a bit better on there, but I wasn't selling on Vinted generally speaking. But now I'm probably a bit more comfortable, and also with like the tools as well, like Vintex and stuff like that, it's probably be easier to kind of get stuff re-uploaded and sorted. But yeah, that from that experience, and then would I do it again? Not like a deal like that, yes. Like I'm happy to spend that money and invest it.
With Reese, right? You did a similar process at the
Reese. I didn't get that much out of it. Like that was good.
That was did quite well from what I saw. You did quite well with the Reese stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
I guess what Andy actually I think says it perfectly here, which is I think the deal was good, but the mindset towards the deal might have been wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
In terms of valuations, and obviously at the time you weren't listed on Vinted, so that probably did lower the sell through of the whole thing, and maybe the jumpsuits weren't the best way to go.
So the jumpsuits, I think, were I said this to Talia when she picked it up. I was like, I think those are going to be probably the main thing that you might struggle with. Everything else, like, and again, some of the bigger sizes with the crop look is not ideal either. But I also like the mentality that you go into with like that sort of thing is when you're at a sale like that, that is the stuff that hasn't sold. Right, like through the main line. So you've got to take that into account, that it might not be the most popular stuff. And I did take that into account, and I tried to pick out the stuff that I thought would still sell, regardless of that. So we'll see. And again, like in terms of what I've learned, again, some of it's just not a little bit of knowledge there. Some of it's how mindset and how I approach something like that. I think it's very different. I think getting your money back as quickly as possible from an investment that big is important. So I think that's definitely something I'll keep in mind. And outside of that, again, just also spatial concerns. I think taking that into account and how that will hinder you.
One
That
of the
kind
go on, sorry, you
that
carry
kind
on.
of the mindset of it, though, right? Like the how you handle it based on the fact this is going to take up space is something that I would go into thinking. I'd be like, okay, I know this is going to get space. I want that space available to like do stuff with and move around in. So I need to have this processed. And even the speed I processed it wasn't fantastic.
No.
I think it wasn't like it took forever, but I didn't get it done amazingly fast. Like I should get back and just bang it out. So yeah,
opportunity cost as well, which is that you said you've got probably maybe 60 to 100 pieces of clothing that needed washing and cleaning and sorting, right? So you blocked yourself from being able to do that on a more timely fashion as well, at the same time as not doing the other thing, if that makes sense. Because you've not been able to get the washer and dryer in because of the space, that's cost you time to get the other stuff sorted as well.
100%. That's the spatial thing, isn't it? It's just it's opportunity cost. It's even the money opportunity cost, right? I mean, I didn't have anything else that I wanted to throw it at, but like even I could have done something else with it and had it made more money.
So it's definitely not put you off buying another deal like that.
No. I think I just need
experience on it.
I just need to be smarter, right? Like I just need to handle it better, buy smarter, and deal with it and process it better. It's basically what I learned. Also, Kaylee's saying that Talia listed some of the cropped ones, and they got with the bigger size, and they have a lot of watches. So clearly, I probably just suck. But that was the whole point. I'd probably just suck. Give it to someone who might not suck at it, and they'll make a load of money. So that's what I'm hoping for, and I'm interested how it goes. Basically,
well, I'm glad it's gone, and you're positive about it.
We are free. It's no longer plagues this world. No one asked me again.
You guys haven't got to listen to him talk about it now again after this. Other than when you get an update to Talia's tripled her money on the whole deal, and
she come back and she'll be like, "Yeah, I've made like 10 grand." I'm like, sick. It would be sick actually. But yeah, there we go. I was just told that's my mum saying there's another sweaty Betty on the 6th of December.
Straight back to do it all over again, sir.
I thought they told me, so I was talking to Sweaty Betty stuff and I was there, and they told me they were going to stop doing it because they'd sorted their overstock, which was, I thought, going to be Sports Direct. But maybe not. So I actually might go have a look. But no, we'll leave that one be for the moment. And again, I went to the Reese one the other day, and they've changed how they do things, which was quite upsetting. I don't remember. Have I spoken to you about this or not? I can't remember.
No, not since this one. No.
Oh, so I went to, there was a Reese one on the other day. And I think, and I went, and previously they've been able to give me a deal and all the stuff was newer tags, right? And this time I turned up and I started shopping, and with a woman who runs it sent over someone to me and said, "I've been told to tell you that we can't offer you any deals, and anything that you take to the deal, the tags get cut off of." I'm like, oh, man. And there is not much there. I don't think even maybe if I got a little bit of a deal with some stuff, it would have worked out. But there's basically nothing there I can buy then straight away, which sucked because I love the resale. And like you said before, I think I've done 2 rounds of it and had really good success. But this time, it's ruined. That's gone. That's out the window. So that's sad.
There's a place that it's like I can't remember what it's called because I've got brain fog with it. But there's a company that basically has deals that it's like a charity shop, but it's like a seconds charity shop, and they have deals with like Hobbs, Me&M, like all that. But then they black marker all the labels.
Yeah, that's fine though. No one cares about the black
interior labels and stuff. Like they're not newer tags. They're never newer tags. They're all pre-owned, but they black marker all of the like interior.
They probably are newer tags, but they probably cut off the tags.
Yeah.
They probably have the same thing.
New Life is the one. There you go. Tasha said it there.
Yeah, they probably have to do the same thing that Reese do or is making these people do. I'd love to talk to someone who like at these companies who deals with that sort of stuff and understand the thought process behind it a little bit, because
I think it's pretty easy to understand, which is that they don't want people to resell at a high scale. Like they want to get rid of their overstock, but they don't want it to be widely available so that everybody buys that versus the new stuff.
Yeah, but I even if someone
those people that wasn't it Reigns or something like that, they were sending all their stuff. They would never get rid of all of their stuff in the UK. It had to go abroad, and then if you wanted to buy it, you had to wait for it to go abroad and then buy it from abroad to bring it back here because they don't want it here. And Louis Vuitton do a very similar thing, which is they'll just incinerate like 90% of the stuff that is overstocked that doesn't sell because they would rather keep their brand.
I don't think it would be that impactful, and especially if, like, I guess they're doing for example, the Reese one in isolated events where they're selling them all at this like one-off thing. But I just don't think it would be super impactful. I get if they were like, for example, if someone was just buying everything and listing it all and just for a cheaper price and just last season stuff, like it may impact their online sales and their revenue. But I think outside of that, I don't think it would be a crazy difference. But it's interesting that they're fearful of that now suddenly versus the last 2 or 3 times I've done it. But I don't know what it would be. So it's interesting. But I know there is brand protection around it, and they don't want to like devalue the brand by having cheaper stuff out on the market and so on and so forth. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me. But I'd be interested to talk to someone about it. Anyway, actually, intermission. I want to play a game. Who's okay? This is something I want to play quickly, just to see if it works out. I haven't really put too much thought into it, but basically, the gist of the game is, you can't name the same thing as me. So I'll ask a question, and then I want everyone to give an answer, and I'll probably write it down so people know I'm not cheating. And I don't know how we're going to do it. Maybe we give away something. Actually, maybe we'd say this. Actually, I'll do this in advance. I'll save it for next week, and think of it in advance. But we'll give. I don't know. We can give a voucher out or something. I don't know. It'd be funny. But basically, the gist of the game would be to. I'll basically have a load of questions that will get like go from wide to very narrow. Like there's only a few options, and then the last person standing that hasn't guessed what I've guessed, you can get a prize. So we can do that next week or the week.
So basically, the concept is if I say I'm thinking of a color and my color is pink, you have to say every color except for pink.
Yes, basically.
And then the questions get narrower and narrower until eventually you do match what I say.
Yeah,
and the last person standing wins.
Yeah, basically. That's the gist. I want to play that, and I'll probably make it slightly reseller related to give it a bit of thought. But I think it'll be funny. Just an interlude. On the back to where we started though, on the eBay and Vinted front. So yeah, that was again we kind of gave the context ages ago, but we'll run back into it. So I've been selling them. I've not been listing for 4 months, and it started really well. And now it has 100% got to the point where on eBay it is like not flatline dead, but flatline to a pretty low level. Like the sales aren't terrible; they're still at about half. But in terms of value, I'm just about the £100 mark a lot of the time. Even then, in under it sometimes. I've still got days where I have like 430 or 300 here and there, right? But like the more consistent now is around the £100 mark, a bit over that, which if it compared to my previous performance is bad. Like it is, if we're comparing it to me, that's very poor because we're probably averaging at one point like around 350-ish at some, but like around 3 before. So even though the sales haven't dropped this by the same percentage, the value has dropped by a third. And that's been really interesting. But I think the main reason for that, well, there's 2 things. There's a few stipulations I'm trying to put into it, right? Is that one, at the start, I was selling similar on 30 a day, right? And I was chopping prices pretty hard. I had a lot of like value there that I was taking. Like it started at a good price and I chopped it a lot, and that made it a much more appealing deal. And then after that, like again, we kept doing that for a while. We had 30 a day where the price was being cut. And like I said, we've gone through one cycle already. So that big chop that happened was not happening so frequently. And now we've caught up all the way to the front where I am not selling similar 30 a day. I'm selling similar like around 10, which is nowhere near as impactful. So it's been quite interesting to see how that's impacted. And without the constant devaluing and the volume of relisting it again, it is flatlined to a more like a much lower level than it was previously. So if you want to know the limit of that tactic as such, it is going from you know, until you hit the point where you're no longer putting in that volume or giving that significant deal, I'd say, is where it hits its limit pretty much. And also realistically, as you go along, I've lost 1,000 items. So it's gonna have taken a lot of the good stuff out of the store. And I'm gonna be left with a lot of the less wanted or less valuable stuff. So it's been super interesting. We've sold some really good things in that time. Like there's been a few things that have, sold for 300, 400 quid within that time frame that we haven't discounted a crazy amount. But yeah, we've kind of got to that point. But the other side of that, right, is we're now on Vinted. We've gone like this on eBay, and Vinted's gone like this, which has been super interesting. And even now, like I can feel myself with Vinted. I am much more focused on trying to get the sales out of Vinted and making sure I'm sending offers all the time and doing everything because it's performing a bit better. And I went from I think £500 earnings total on Vinted for like forever. And we slowly built up, and then we hit like a K for the last month, and then like 1,800. I think now we're about over £2,000, I think, on Vinted per month, which is fantastic. And I think it's still building towards that. Again, if I was doing this properly, and I think Katie's been shouting at me in the calls about the fact that she thinks I'm undervaluing the stuff that I am selling. Like, because I'm treating everything with no regard for what it is for the most part, it's just getting discounted in a strategy, and then I'm putting it on Vinted. I could be getting a lot more for the stuff that I'm putting on there. So it'd be it's going to be super interesting to do this when I start, right, and have managing both accounts, seeing what's going to sell over there, seeing what money will be coming in. I'm quite excited, to be honest with you. So going to be fun, but yeah, what eBay doesn't like, currently getting a call from my bin company, I think. What eBay doesn't like, Vinted seems okay with. And we had a big talk about this, and it led to a big discussion about vibes and like what's good and what's not in the calls last week, because some of it felt so strange to me that it would sell on Vinted, but it has. And it's still cracking on pretty strong, and we haven't caught up yet. We're behind on Vinted in terms of cross listing compared to what we've done sell similar. So we're still not up
on Vinted at the moment.
How many items did you say?
Yeah, how many items are you listing per day on Vinted?
I'm listing 20 a day on Vinted.
And have you got to the point where you're reposting yet?
Yeah, I repost whatever the oldest day is, because on Vinted you can see the date. Yeah.
But that doesn't matter if it's 7 days or.
No, it happens to be the same because I'm listing every single day. I think, for example, let me check. Let me see what my oldest item is. Let it load up. And my oldest, so it's the 27th today. My oldest item, so it's 10 days. My oldest item is from the 17th. Yeah. So it probably should be a much shorter cycle that I'm doing. And every time I re-upload it, I knock 5% off the price. So it's going down little by little, but probably not necessary. The only thing I don't know, and Vinted people, Kay's gonna come at me tonight. The only thing I don't know how to do, the only thing I can't think of how to track on Vinted is how many cycles it's been through, right? So like, obviously I'm decreasing every single time, whereas I think if you were not trying to do a clearance strategy, then you wouldn't want to decrease every single repost. You can, but like say you repost after 4 or 5 days or even a week, right? You don't want to be reducing the price straight away. You want to give it a few chances at selling.
It's quite interesting because I've enjoyed my resurgence since my Vinted ban, but I have come to the conclusion that there is way more maintenance on Vinted at the moment. Like, it feels like I'm on it all of the time. Like I'm reposting, I'm sending out offers. I need to set up the. Actually, no, I set up the auto offers the other day, like for a couple of hours, but then my computer went onto sleep mode, and of course it just kills it when it does that.
Yeah.
So I think that's something I'm going to be more conscious of, but I feel like it's requiring slightly more admin from me at the moment, and I don't sell anywhere near as much on Vinted as everybody else does. So
that's always been the case, right? Like the good thing about it though is you get rewarded pretty heavy for the admin. Like it doesn't feel like wasted. Like reposting feels rewarding. Sending offers feels rewarding. Like
the dopamine of it being so soon as well, because you can repost 20 items and then get 20, 30 likes straight away. Whereas eBay, if you list 20 items, those items might not get any likes for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Yeah, it's a much slower.
Whereas Vinted's like just screaming out the gate, like he's to war. But Jay says turn off sleep mode, so that's it.
I need to work out how to do that on my Mac.
It's super easy. You just go to the display settings, and it's no problem at all. But yeah, so I mean, I don't think it's that much extra admin, to be honest with you. Again, like the same way I check in and send offers now because of Vintex, it's super easy to send offers. Like that's no problem.
When you're doing so much better now. Vintex is a thing.
Like doing that individually is a pain compared to eBay, right? Like I always thought that, and I still think it's stupid they don't have it. But outside of that, I mean, the only extra admin realistically is reposting, which is also selling similar. So realistically, actually, the only extra admin that isn't got like an eBay equivalent is the postage. The postage is so annoying. Aside from that, I think they're basic. That I don't think they're that different. Like, because realistically, I go in an eBay on my app, I click the multiple offers, I send my 10% out in bulk, fantastic. On Vintex, I'm on my computer, I click the button, load it all in, send my 10% out in bulk. And then reposting, sell similar, I click all the ones I want to sell similar. I actually say selling similar is easier on Vinted because of Vintex. If it didn't have the tools, then it'd be so much harder. But with the tools, it's like the same. I really don't see any extra issue with it, realistically speaking. But yeah, it's good, and it's good. Yeah, whenever it comes, it might be very soon, but whenever it comes to listing again, I think it probably should start around now. Now I'll focus on getting my washer dryer in, and then we can get some things processed and get up and going again with all the older stuff we have. So yeah, that's that
for you then. If you enjoyed, because obviously initially when you first stepped away from the actual like doing the process of listing and stuff like that, because you were doing all of the other stuff that you were doing, and I know you were very busy, and obviously I think gradually you've spent less and less time doing work and just been a bit more relaxed. Have you enjoyed it, or have you missed it in terms of like the hustle and bustle? Because realistically, we all know that we all work hard, right? Anybody who's a reseller doing it full time is working hard a lot of the time. So like, have you missed it, or have you not missed it, or is it giving you the refresh that you want, or do you not feel that? Or I'm just intrigued to know what your mental state with then versus now, and how you found the whole thing. Because I was planning, so I was looking at this the other day, right? And I was like, I wanted to take a 4-day break, right? And I looked at flights to Madeira, and for me and the missus, it's like £300 return each, right? And then it's about £600 for a hotel. So for just over £1,000, I could spend 4 days in Madeira on the beach, chilling, doing nothing, right? And then I was like,
I feel like you can get a better price than that firstly, but carry on.
Probably. But I was like, why do I want to do it? And would I enjoy it? Because I don't take a lot of time off at the moment. And then I'm worried that when I'm there, because I'll be lying in bed at 8 o'clock at night, like trying to chill, watching TV with the missus, all that, and I'll still be on my phone sending offers out. So I'm super worried about how I feel I would cope. And obviously, you've had experience of this now for a couple of months, where it's still been working, but like
I'm super different to you, right? Like I enjoy chilling quite a lot. And like I don't know if Hanley's in here, but you can ask her about like my previous talks about how she thinks I work and how I've talked about working for quite a while, which is I like to kind of take it at my own pace and have distractions in between and stuff like that. And that's had to, at some points, that's gonna have to be weeded out coming forward as well. But it hasn't felt crazy different. Like I'm quite adaptive. Like I don't really think too differently or feel too differently within what I do a lot of the time. Like if I'm doing something, I'm just doing something. I'm not really thinking about it. It doesn't really feel any sort of way. Actually the most interesting feeling I had was coming back from Oz and going to charity shops again. I felt like a resistance or anxious to do it, and I didn't know exactly what it was. It was almost I think because I had such big plans to do something different, I actually came back like resistant to doing that thing because it was like stepping back into the same shoes. And like and I could feel myself, like I could imagine myself just falling into doing the same thing again. So I actually think taking the time and not doing that whilst doing this was important for me in a roundabout way. The only thing I feel bad for is not going, say, talking to all the people that, you know, the charity shop managers who probably think I'm dead. Like there is probably multiple managers out there who actually think I'm dead in some way, shape, or form, because I went every single week for the last 2 years, and then now I've just disappeared off the face of the earth. So it's probably people that think I'm dead, and I will do a round of letting everyone know that what's happening before when I move on, which I probably should have done already. But in terms of this now, so again at the start, I was doing a lot. I was hustling and bustling, like you said, and like just doing something different and working on stuff here. And as the excitement has died off, and I'm like, there's less to do as such, and I'm more kind of waiting a bit more now. Even with, for example, some of the automation stuff, I was really excited to do that. I was on it, and then like I've been at a sticking point for a while, and it just my interest in it like feigned a bit. But I actually feel a bit lost. Would actually be the answer. Like in terms of a business sense, like
yeah,
I'm not. There's nothing I really need to do. Like there's no timelines on anything at the moment. Like there's no, like I don't need to get up and do my listings every day. I don't need to get up and take photos every day. I don't need to go source 10 every day. Like I've lost all the necessities of the day, and I'm left with a bunch of tasks that I need to do at some point, but there's no real like
urgency.
There's no crunch. There's no like timeline on it. So again, I felt like when you have all that time, like you just use it. Like I said to you before we started, like, I don't know what I've done with the last week. And I've done some stuff. I know I have. But outside of that, like I don't really know what I've done. And that I feel like that feeling has gradually got more and more, and I have got more and more sparse with what I'm doing, which is not good. So yeah, so that's why I'm thinking about getting back into listing at this point in time, because we've hit that plateau point on eBay, so we need to start revving it back up. The big thing actually, a big thing that was actually stopping me listing is all the sweaty Betty was on the floor in front of the listing station. So that's now cleared out, and I can get that all going. It feels I feel at a better place and kind of ready to go again. I wouldn't say I feel like, you know, rejuvenated or whatever. Like again, it's not a problem I really dealt with, but I feel like I've got that point where it's settled again, and now I should be doing something else. I still need to finish a lot of stuff. Like my list on my phone is probably quite big on like miscellaneous tasks that I need to complete, but it's just not having that pressure. But maybe I should put that pressure in place. But even still, I feel like I haven't adhered to it the way I'd want to.
Have you not had the urge or an eagerness to get back to the charity shop while it's a bit? Well, you've had, like, I know this week you said you don't know if you've done much, but like, or you don't really know what you've done. But has there been like a thought process of like, oh, I could just nip to the charity shops, go and have a look around, no pressure on buying items, so you can pick the best of the best. Like it gives you that little bit of like leniency when it comes to sourcing, because obviously when you've got a 10 20 a day listing goal, like there's a lot of pressure to pick up stuff, and sometimes you'll make mistakes doing so. With with what you've got going on now, there's a lot less pressure. I think I would love to source in that environment, and one of the reasons why I've said it loads of times, and I love going to the car boot and haggling, because there's way less pressure on me to do that now, because all of my stuff comes from a different place, so I don't have to get the stuff. I can just enjoy it and have fun.
To me, it just feels like a waste of time as such. Like it's not, because I'm not doing anything better with it, then like why not, right? But in terms of how I feel about it, it does, because I'm like, because I'm not listing and because I'm not doing that. Yeah, I could be building. I've already got I'm looking to my left. I've got a sofa full of stuff. Like it's like
I've seen some of it. it's a big pile.
it's up to top. I've now got a rail full of stuff as well. I've still got the stuff in the back that I need to wash. Like I've got a lot of backlog and some good pieces sitting around. But yeah, I haven't felt that need to go to the charity shops. And again, if I don't know what because charity shops, I was already picky at charity shops. If I now went to be even more picky at charity shops, I'd have so much dead time. Like like I would go to so many shops and it feels so wasteful in terms of like how many I was picking up. So that doesn't feel good in my opinion, and I don't really want to do that. So yeah, I think we'll see where we go now. Again, I'm waiting to get this order finished on some custom packaging. That's taken way longer than it should have.
You've got to do the black bit in the middle now. I know they're not going to know, but have you got to do the black bit in the middle?
They haven't decided yet. They said they were going to test it out in production and see what happens. But they said they were going to get that to me about that. They're going to check that last Friday, but didn't say anything. So now waiting on it today.
I think it's quite interesting that you said that there was like when you came back from Oz and there was a bit of a resistance to go back into charity shops, because I felt a very similar thing over the last couple of months because I've spent a lot of time sourcing on Vinted, and obviously everybody who does know me knows that I spent literally every waking hour at a charity shop from basically Monday to Saturday. It was 9 to 5 every single day for well over a year at that point. Like it was every single day. And now I sit at my computer and snipe on Vinted. And when I go to charity shops now, I do feel that level of resistance that you're talking about. Like, I don't want to go. I'm like, I don't really want to go. And then when I do go, I find myself in a really negative mindset with it. And it's never about the stuff that I like. So if, for instance, if I'm going to pay up on Vinted, something that's like a tenner, £11, and it with all the fees and stuff, it goes to like £13-14, right? When it's those sorts of things, like, and I'm willing to pay up, I'm never thinking about it like that. But when I'm seeing things that I know that I could get for like £3 or £4, even though I don't buy them on Vinted, like I'll go into a charity shop and they'll have something that I know I could get for £3 or £4 on Vinted, and they'll have it in the charity shop for a tenner. And even though it's it's regardless, because I'm not buying that item, in my head I'm like, get that on Vinted cheaper. And it's such a negative, stupid, like, I go through the motions in my head, like, I wouldn't buy that, I wouldn't buy that, that would be cheaper on Vinted, that would be cheaper on Vinted. Like, I'm criticizing the shop.
Interesting you say it would be cheaper on Vinted. Like, that's not a normal, like, a perspective. Normally it's like, oh, I can pick stuff up in charity shops for cheaper than I can on Vinted.
So a lot of the stuff that, like, I would pick up now that I pay like anywhere between like £10 and £15 on Vinted, if I'm picking up in a charity shop, I'm probably paying roughly the same price now. There's not too many charity shops that I go to where the item that I would buy on Vinted for that price is cheaper than in a charity shop. And also what was really, really interesting, and I know we've been in the space for a lot longer and we've heard about this a lot, but my brother was in his local charity shop. It's literally like a 2-street walk from him. It's the furthest away from me because he lives on the other side of town. But he was in that charity shop the other day, and he messaged me and said, the game's done. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, mate, the game's done. We're finished. And it was all because he'd overheard the charity shop manager in there, who was a new charity shop manager, and priced a pair of Asics that were selling for £25 on eBay for £45 because she thought that the listings was the solds. It was another debacle. But that charity shop manager was talking about how they've just set up a Vinted account and stuff like that. Now, obviously, we've known about charity shops doing this for a little while now, but he was out, like, genuinely outraged. He was like, "This is a fucking joke. Like, what? Who do they think that, like?" And obviously, we understand it a little bit more, but it was quite interesting to hear like a more casual person's perspective.
I mean, yeah,
the concept.
They don't know the ins and outs of it, right? So they'd probably be surprised to hear that people are doing that. But again, they've had shops on eBay forever. Yeah. And Vinted, if they're going to get, I mean, Vinted, they might go down the more casual route, because obviously the eBay stuff, normally they pick and choose what they send off to eBay for the most part. And each shop has like a quota maybe, and they need to send it off. And the shops don't like sending it sometimes because they want the sales within the shop themselves, even though some of it counts towards their metric or not. But I think they like having those sales in store and that stuff for their customers to look at, because I think the more goods you take out the stuff of the shop and send somewhere else, the less the customers want to come into the shop to find good things. But I don't know, charity shops. Okay, see, Dad says charity shops are there. Let's be honest, but I don't think that's true so I'm going to tell you about very much the opposite experience. When I did go to the charity shops coming back here, and it's been interesting doing what I'm doing, right? Because I've got some very different stuff in. Like I'm not doing what you're doing, where you get to. Well, I'm kind of handpicking, but not really. On Vinted, you get to really pull out the nice bits. But when I've gone charity shopping, I have come back with way nicer bits than I have doing the method I'm doing at the moment. And obviously, I have a very small sample size for what I'm doing. And yes, there has been some nice stuff for sure. Like I've got some M dresses, I've got some 100 stars kimonos, that sort of thing, which are always good stock. But one of my shops had a load of toast in it. When I cleared quite a bit of that out. There's some very good stuff in other places. And also the stuff that I probably won't get from what I'm doing now. Like I just won't get that.
What price point are the toast dresses for you in that area?
They're higher than you'd be able to pay. So the reason I say charity shops aren't dead is because I think you can make them work. It's just more effort, depending on your area. If you've got expensive shops, you need to make deals. If you've got cheap shops, you need to be very good at stylistic buying and understanding what from high street is going to go well. And what you'd be able to do. I also think you can do a lot better Vinted orientated in cheaper shops with maybe not as high a quality of brand, but still things that would very much work. So I think they're definitely not dead, and I think you can absolutely use them. And you can find good stuff like easily. Again, we talked about this ages ago. It's just about putting the effort in sometimes to finding the right places.
Go to the place where it has got the good stuff.
Yeah, it's very different.
There's so much of that people don't do. It's one of the most frustrating things for me when I hear people say, I don't have good charity shops where I am. So, well, guess what? Get the fuck up, go somewhere else.
Find out where they are.
I've lived and I've done that. But what I would say is that I know from speaking to yourself and obviously Shells is in the group and she's spoken a lot about it as well. But in areas like yours, I think, is it Di? Or I can't remember if it's Di or D. Di as well. Like she's in a similar area to you, and I think that there is obviously a higher wealth in that area, like affluencies up there. So what tends to happen is charity shops will price up a little bit more because they know they can get it. And in those areas, I feel like Vinted is even better because because you can hand pick what you want and probably pay a similar price if you don't have the deal.
Yeah, I mean, Kaylee has shouted at me forever and said that with what I'm paying and what I'm doing, I might as well be on Vinted. Like I might as well, because the price is pretty much the same, and with the knowledge I have anyway, like it would have been very effective. So, yeah, it's super interesting, and I don't think I probably will go back, and I would actually love with the good shops to maintain the relationship and kind of maybe differentiate a little bit where I can just go and pick stuff up and like take it away. Because I don't. If it's going to take me a few seconds to grab that stuff, then I'm happy to do that.
I think what would have worked really well for you is if the charity shop managers had done what you'd asked them to do while you were in Oz, which is keep the brands and stuff like that. Yeah. Because if you could keep that going at the same time as what you're doing, and it was successful, and you could go in and maybe they kept you 30 or 40 pieces, and then you could go in and buy 10 and then just leave and let them go on. If that had worked out the way you wanted to, I think that would have been a fantastic add-on to what you're currently doing because there's less friction and resistance in terms of time. And it would have been a way better output. But obviously, from what I understand happened is that not really anybody kind of did anything with what you were asking. So
it's going to take doing that. It will take a lot longer to work on it, right? Like we need to get into the groove. And I'm not giving up on doing it, right? Like it's something that, again, like I said, I'd still like that to happen if I can get it to work. And again, when I do I say my goodbye rounds to my charity shops, I'll probably talk to a few of them about that and see if there is anything they can do because I'm going to be moving away and see if there's.
Is there a way where you could just give them I know that they didn't really focus on the brands list, but is there any way you could just get them to set up a WhatsApp group or something where they could just ping you stuff that they think you're going to like and then just tell them to hold it and just have that as a background and then once a month go in and spend a couple $100, come out, bring it all, do it like that.
There's probably a load of ways I can do it. It's just a matter of getting it set up.
I suppose it's the efficiency and the time for that.
Again, for example, if any of them get a really good haul or something, they can just message me and I'll come by and swing and see what it is.
I know Louise had that once where reseller Lou on Insta, she put on Instagram that she had a message from, I think it was Lou. She had a message from one of her charity shop contacts that some woman had just dropped off Oscar, and she walked in there and bought like fucking 10 pairs of like barrel leg Oscar trousers and all this jazz off. Like they brought like, and it was just like, it was so easy just to walk in, buy it all, leave. It took less than 25 minutes to do it, and it was just such a blessed thing. If you can get that set up, it'd be perfect, obviously.
I'm definitely going to look at doing that. There's no reason why not to, right? The last thing I would like to talk about us on here is this weekend I did a market.
Oh yes, I forgot to ask you about this.
So part of so basically this market is outside of my unit. There's literally like an alleyway, like there's like a little courtyardy bit, and then there's like, so this is my door. There's like this much like space of like concrete, and then there's another set of doors, and then after that set of doors there's like an alleyway that goes on for like this, this, I can't really see what the fuck I'm doing, but like this long, and it's all wooden and everything. And then there's a set of wooden doors at the front, and basically the woman at the front, called Gabby, she wanted to do like she's an artist, and she does like little arts and crafts and stuff like that. So she basically came and said a while ago, hey, I want to do like a little fair market arts and crafts thing. And she was like, would you want to have a rail there or something? I was like, go on then. Like, probably not gonna be doing anything else. So that was this Saturday, and my experience, okay, summarized, it took me way longer to get ready than I thought, because I basically had to take stuff. I took it all out from my incoming pile, the stuff that I was going to put on the rail, and I wanted to use it more for marketing than I did anything else. I wanted to put my good bits on the rail, so when people looked at the rail and recognized what was on there, if they recognized what was on there, then they'd know it's kind of for them. And then I talked to pretty much everyone I could about the fact that I would buy from people. So I wanted good stuff on the rail, and like if they then had good stuff, they recognize the good stuff, then fantastic, they're the total person I want to buy from. And if not, then whatever. But it took me a lot longer to like steam everything, put it on the rail, and then go through and price it all. How I priced it not that different to what I go for online. I wasn't trying to get rid of it or anything like that. Again, it was more for the marketing standpoint of it. And yeah, I priced that all up, and I took probably like £10, £5 off, depending on what price it was at online, right? Because just to like account for fees or whatever. And basically, I didn't get a spot in the main room. So basically, they were all they were between the wooden doors, and there was like a cake person, there was like a honey person, there was an artisty, crafty type people. I didn't get space, so I basically got shoved in the. I basically had to reorganize my unit and open my doors of my unit and have my rail in front of my doors. And you could there's like this gap between the bit that they're all in, and you could just see me out the back door of it. So it wasn't like I was in the best position anyway. But I don't think we had that much footfall, because I don't think it was like I didn't go crazy on advertising it, and also it's cold and kind of wet, so not that many people are out and about. But I did have some people come past, and the things that it made me realize are two things. One, so for example, I've got some toast on that rail, I've got some M&M on the rail. I got some lower end brands that are in nicer styles, just to like have a bit of a breadth of stuff that I should take. But one thing I've got in there is a Valentino dress. And a Valentino dress is not something I'd normally pick up. But it has come through, my method. I've had the Valentino dress again. I've looked at it, I've gone, I think this is really nice. And I'll probably pull it out quick, actually.
Go and tell with Benji today.
So this is the Valentino dress.
That's actually quite nice, yeah. It's got a pleated bottom as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
All pleated at the bottom, like a high neck kind of long sleeve thing.
Yeah.
So this
for Kaylee's interpretation of what that is, whether it's good or bad. I'm sure she'll let us know.
So that was the number one thing that people looked at, which is super interesting, because again, if you're looking at eBay and how well stuff like that sells in there, there might be a lot of traffic, but no one's really interested in buying it, or like, even though there's not even that much traffic, like compared to some stuff, the sell-through rate is bad. That's obviously a nice address, so it'll probably do better than a lot of them. But the sell-through rate is bad, and it was Valentino, Shelley. So yeah, that was the number one looked at. Everyone liked the 100 stars kimono, like all different sorts of people. Like it was interesting. Like everyone could see like a use for it. I just thought it was beautiful. And then aside from that, no one knew what Toast was. No one knew what Me and M was, which doesn't surprise me because I don't think the average person knows.
That does surprise me, especially where you live. Like,
I don't think you got to
more of the Cotswolds than it is.
No, it's just that you have to be the type of person, and I don't think there's like Toasty people and Me and Emmy people are not that common. Like even the people that are affluent, they probably know. Again, they're all more likely to know the normal designer brands than they are those sort of more niche high-end brands. Because like how many Toasty people do you see walking about? Like not many. I normally see people dressed in much more like classic high-end high street and that sort of look to it than I would ever see in Toast and stuff like that. Maybe Me and M, but again, they're not that common. And obviously, I have to be the people that want to come into the back of an alleyway as well. So it's not the most beautiful environment for those people to walk into. But the best person I probably met, and so in short, wasn't very successful. I was here from 10 till 5. Spent 2 hours getting stuff ready. It took way longer than I wanted. And then I sold 2 things. I sold an Oliver Bonus New with Tags cardigan, which is actually really nice. I'm actually upset it's gone because I really liked it.
The pink one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
That went for 30 quid, which I'm pretty happy with, to be honest with you. And then I sold a Jules coat, a grey like checked one that I'd had for a long time, and that sold for 25. I priced that down a bit. I probably could have put it up for a bit more online, but I've already had it up and I didn't have it listed. So that sold for 25. So we made £55 for the day, no fees. Fantastic. But the good thing is, I think I got 2 things. One, I talked to an accountant that actually came by because she was here to see her daughter who was doing something. And 2, there was one guy who was dressed head to toe in Anne Sons, like head to toe, like he had a cap on his head that was Anne Sons. And I had an Anne Sons waistcoat on the rail. And he came and was like, I got talking to him. I was like, again, I pitched the idea that I buy stuff. And I was like, oh, I'd love to buy from people like you because you people like you just everything's a really good style and good quality and people like it. And he's like, oh, I have loads of stuff that, you know, I want to get rid of kind of, and I don't want to take it to a charity shop. Because he was like, yeah, I kind of feel like it's too good to take to a charity shop. And I was like, well, I can give you this. He's like, okay, cool. And then also I got to talking to him about, he was talking about he was in costume or wardrobe for TV shows and movies previously. And that's something I want to get into and look at and get in touch with those sort of people. So I talked to him about that and he's like, oh, I come by quite a bit. I'll drop you some cards for some people that work there. And so if if one guy pays off,
yeah, it only takes one sometimes, right?
Like that's entirely worthwhile. If he puts me in some connections with the wardrobe,
I wish I had your knack for like just talking. I know I can talk, but I have like this weird barrier that allows me to talk to strangers. I wish I was just better at that because I feel like I could get myself into some pretty good positions. And when I have got the balls to go and do it, I have got myself into good positions in warehouses and all this sort of stuff. But that little tippy over the edge to push me to go and do it is always so difficult for me. So I wish I had your level of like, I'm just going to go and talk to as many people as possible because I find it really difficult a lot of time.
Yeah, I understand. I get that. And it'd be funny, but in situations where I don't want to, I really don't want to. Like I'm the same. Like my mom's probably listening right now, but she takes me to networking, not networking events, but like business industry events. And I'm much more resistant to talk to new people there. It's not my world as such. I don't feel like I'm still, if I'm input into it, I'm fine, but like I don't outwardly go out in the same way or like feel as comfortable talking. and I'm a bit like E. So yeah, but that it was in terms of the actual market, it was a failure, I'd say, but also a success.
Well, it's definitely not if this guy gets back to you in any way, shape, or form, and you can build some kind of relationship with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely see him again because he was friends and apparently visits the artist women all the time. So he's definitely someone that comes around here quite a bit. So I'll definitely hopefully bump into him.
It also, by the way, makes perfect sense that you want to buy clothes from people that know artists and like artists, and maybe go and
Probably,
well, that makes sense. So I would try and speak to the art lady a lot as well.
I'm actually going to write that down because that's actually a shout.
And your mum said nothing stops you talking, Benji.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I would be all over her trying to get in contact with her, giving her cards if anybody she knows. Like that arty world is very
that's interesting.
Pretentious. It's not pretentious, but like there's like a especially for like high end art. Like there's a lot of like affluency in that sort of like genre of things anyway. So
that's interesting.
I would definitely be on that. I mean, I wouldn't because I wouldn't talk to her, but you,
I would shit. Don't come near me. But you go. Lovely. All right.
Right. That is another podcast done. Reseller group link in the description.
Is it in the description?
It is in the description now.
Good. Because it hasn't been. Nice sticker. Game next week. Prepare yourself.
Next week. Make sure everyone prepares themselves because we've had some game nights in the group and
you carry on.
Fantastic.
But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Next week.
Bye.